So today I'm going to show you how to mount a basketball jersey. What we got here is Klay Thompson, number 11 autograph. A couple of photos. I mean, a lot of people mount just a jersey, but it's good to have a photo or maybe a little plate or some cards to go with it. A couple options to do when you want to get something like this mounted. You can bring it to a framing shop. But if you want to do this yourself and get the enjoyment of having something done yourself and save yourself maybe a few $100, so you can use our the extra large jersey frame. A lot of our other cases you see that is cabinet, so it has the actual door that opens up. So this is a frame version. This item is very customizable, so you can choose the color of the frame. As you can see, we have a cherry finish here. You can choose from 4 colors: oak, walnut, cherry, or black. Generally, you want to get it with the matte board. This is the acid-free photo board as an insert into the jersey, so that's gonna kind of keep the shape there for you and spread out the jersey and make things a little less wrinkled. Okay, and it's easy for mounting, so it's a good idea to use that. The other thing you customize is also the background of the felt here. You can get it with either white or red, and by default it usually comes black. And the matte board, the 2 colors, so you got the top layer here. I have blue. The bottom layer, it's has a dark yellow or orange kind of color, and this matches the jersey you got here. And the layout, that's one thing. There's a lot of layouts you can choose. For this vertical mount, we have 2 photos, so 8x10 photos, so it's going to be mounted vertically this way. So, and then a couple of photos going to go in there. It will come with a little instruction how to do this. So I'm just going to show you the frame real quick. Okay, so this is the what we're going to be using. These can be mounted either horizontally this way or vertically this way, so it's a long way, of course. So it's just a preference thing, or maybe sometimes depending on where you're mounting, might work better. So in this case, we're doing a basketball jersey, and I definitely recommend going vertically because they tend to be a little more narrow and long. Show you the back here. So the back, you can see this one is plywood panel or MDF board panel. It's got little attachments that kind of keeps it in there. So it's got the mounting, and when you're doing vertically, the hooks this way, so you hang it this way. Okay, so now that the top cover is off, what you have is the backboard, 3/8 of an inch thick rubber material under this black felt. So the first thing you want to do is test fit this. So what we want to do is use that mat board, create that insert. So basically what you want to really do is take a good measurement for the width, since you want this to be nicely stretched out. Okay, so even though the measurement's 23, you want to make it a little bit bigger, about 1 inch or so. So that's gonna have the insert kind of stretch out the jersey, and then keeps it a little nicer fit. And then you want to take the height from where the collar starts and down to the bottom. So I'm seeing here about 31. Go ahead and just cut this mat board. Okay guys, so I'm back with the mat board here. Let's cut to the measurement I wanted. Now that you got the outer measurements on this, what you want to do is, of course, kind of shape it so it goes into the jersey and kind of give us a form here. So what you want to do is just slightly move it to one edge here, and like I said, you wanted it to stretch out, so you want to be a little bit bigger than the jersey. Once I'm done with that, as you can see, I got a general layout of how I want to cut that. So I'm going to use a straight edge and just kind of outline that, and just going to approximately hand draw that curve in here. You can use a utility knife such as this, or you can just use a pair of scissors to cut. There you go. go. So we're gonna take this piece and kind of flip it over and apply on the other side. Okay, so there you go. We got the general shape of this jersey, so we can test fit this here. Okay, so if you look closely, you see the around the collar, that was a straight edge, as you can see, but the collar curves a little bit. And I'm gonna do another little outline. So now it's got that little curve in there. All right, so as you can see, that's taking a really good shape there. If you want to iron out anything, this is probably a good time to do it. I have this on a fairly low setting. I have it down to polyester, and I got a standard sheet of paper. So what I'm going to do is just kind of iron it a little bit where I see some wrinkles. It is ready to mount basically. So I'm going to bring back the backboard here. What you want to do is with this backboard, you position it and try to center everything. You want the top just to be slightly down so the collar is fully displayed with a little bit of a gap. So I'm just gonna position it over there and just to see. So the next step is we're gonna attach this jersey with the insert onto the backboard here. So you're gonna do that with some straight pins. Okay, start from the top. Okay, so you only need about 3 or 4. You're really not pinning the jersey directly to the backboard. You pin the mat board itself directly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pin this right down the middle here. And the way you want to pin is pin toward the center of the jersey, okay? I'm doing it about maybe 10 degrees or so. So you can see it goes in pretty easy. I'm using the casing of this utility knife to push it because it's a little more gentle that way. So I got the middle, and then I want to do the edge of this collar here. So the next thing you want to do is along this sleeve area. I'm just going to work my way down. Okay, so okay, so this is one side. So I'm going to go over this side and do the same thing basically. Use a couple of pins first to secure the bottom, so by stretching it the best I can. Okay, so just try this. If it goes outside the backboard here, which this one does a little bit, you can just tuck it in. And you just really need a couple more pins to secure it. This one you're going to have it directly pinned to the jersey material itself. So let me just go and add one on each side to kind of keep it in place. So to do these, I mean, if you don't want anything shown, which we have a couple 8x10 photos, so it's going to be covered up anyway. I'm just going to do it along just the edge of this. All right, so we got the jersey down. So as you can see, I brought back the double matted board here. So it's going to be like this. So what we're going to do is put a couple photos into this. What you want to do is just use a little bit of masking tape. We'll take a peek at it and see if that's how we want the photo. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is the extra material from the mat board. I already have them cut to use as the backboard here to basically secure the photo in place, so it keeps things flat. This should be about 9x11, so that's just enough to cover the photo and give you a little bit of space. Okay, let me turn it around just to show you here, since we have it upside down for you. Again, just want to point out, you can customize these photo double mats to your liking. A lot of people, they will actually add a little engraving plate, so you can say a little thing, maybe the name of the player, date, or something significant there, and then there will be extra window and cutout. So, but again, this is just two 8x10s for us here. Now this is optional, but because we do these for the customers here, one thing you will notice is, down the bottom area where the mat does lay on top of the board, so it's going to be even a little higher compared to the top areas right here. What you can do is add a spacer. What we have are these, you can use anything, but this is polyurethane foam. By adding that, we'll add in about that 1/4 inch stick to it. So what I'm going to do is just kind of reference where we want to start, so which is about a little bit halfway between here. So I'm going to flip this over, and we're just going to use a hot glue gun. So as you can see, so now that gives that a spacer. Now it's a lot more even. The next thing we're finally ready is to give it a good cleaning. Now it's nice and clean. I know not everyone's gonna have one of these at home. What you can use is a vacuum. You can actually use one of those can airs, or perhaps even lint roller. You can roll that out, and you can even just brush it off yourself. So the other thing I want to point out is also, let me bring the cover back. Beforehand you do anything, I think it's probably best just go ahead and give it a good cleaning first. So this is UV acrylic. Some people are going to say, oh, it's plastic. The truth is, it's 6 to 7 times more expensive than standard glass. There's some benefits to this material, mainly the UV. So you're going to get that protection against UV that generally will fade your jersey. And the other thing is, it's going to be a little tougher to break these. You can use Windex, pretty much anything to clean it. What we do have is these are acrylic cleaner, so you can find them at actually most automotive aisles still have these. We use these because he actually does do a really good job. They'll clean up little minor scratches too, in addition to keeping things clean. The mounting bracket is up there, so you want to make sure when you cover it, that's on the correct side. I'm actually just underneath using my fingers to kind of position those metal tabs to latch onto the back panels. So you want to close off the back, seal it a little bit better. So with a screwdriver, I'm just gonna gently tighten this the screw a little bit. So the next thing you can do is, if you want to nicely seal and tight, you use the masking tape and tape over the gap here. And let you see what we finished here. As you can see, this looks really good. This is again with the cherry finish. So these are made out of solid beechwood, so you see the wood grain on these finishes nicely. About half an hour. Perhaps first timers, maybe up to an hour or so. The item that you want to use is what we call the DC65306. That's the extra large jersey frame.